All right, welcome to quarter 3 lunch and learn questions and answers Q&A session. We just talked about personal brand protection and contracts, and so I want to open up the chat for you to be able to ask your questions. So we have a question here: how can you protect your brand when hiring a VA to help with administrative work? So our quarter 3, our focus was on personal brand protection. So your personal brand protection is you, your person. Let me make sure you can see me on camera. There we go. You, your person. And so when you're hiring VAs and your personal brand protection, we want to make sure that your VA, let's say, what can they all possibly do, not just lawfully within the contract, but other things that they can do that can harm your personal brand or you. So let's say that this is something that we may not consider is in our personal life, we are working through things character wise. We are working through things that we're not aware of. We have our moments. So let's say that one of the things that you're working through is how to be a leader, how to communicate, and how to work through frustrations without blowing up, right? What you don't want is your VA who's working with you to experience one of your flare-ups and then go post on social media about, man, my boss is flaring up. My boss is like, oh my gosh. And so they know where they work, and now they're your personal brand. Although yes, that's it may be the truth, you're working through things, but it's really not the truth when you're working through it. But now it's impacting your personal brand, and if they know that they're working for your business, now people are like, well, I don't want to work with her. She got emotional issues. So how do you do that? Well, you could put a non-disclosure in place, that they a social media policy that you cannot communicate or share things about these particular things that go on. What happens in the business, we probably heard this: what goes on in my house stays on in my house. What goes on in business on the clock stays in the business. You cannot share this outside or post on social media. So you want to have a social media policy. You also want to have an NDA in place, but you want to be clear what it covers. You want to be clear that it covers what happens with the people that they work with, what happens in the workspace. You want to be clear about parameters, about what they can and cannot do on social media and posting, what's permitted. Also, what they put in emails to clients, how, if they're going to be talking with clients, depending on what level of access they're going to be receiving, you want to make sure that they're not doing snide comments. So some of the things are in your contract, but some of the things are in how you lead and what you pay attention to. Are they co-signing with clients when they complain, or are they representing not just your personal brand, but also your business, but also your personal brand, and saying, with integrity, you internally, you can't speak about my employer that way, even if you have a right to, but they do their job to make sure that they are saying, we hear this, we're working on those issues. Here is how we can help. Are they working for you or against you? Are they protecting your personal brand, even with conversations with clients, even in how they communicate, or are they not? So you want to be clear on that as well. When you're hiring, you also, depending on what role you're filling, you also want to put be restrictions, a policy, make sure the policy they agree to abide by in the contract of prohibited behaviors and permitted behaviors, what's okay to do, what's not to do. And you want to think about your personal brand. So many people think about hiring and they're filling a role, but they may not think about their personal brand values. So for me, I don't like profanity. It's something that's not associated with my brand. It's something that I just don't want to deal with it. And I've had clients who use profanity in conversations, and I have to tell them, please don't do that. And so if you're hiring a VA and you're talking about protecting your brand, understand that who you associate with matters to your personal brand. So you want to look at not as your VA, are they qualified to do the work or any other position, but you want to look at them as what are they doing in their own personal life that may bleed over into their professional life. Because we don't separate us from what we do. We just show up differently and try to compartmentalize, but it's still there. And what they do in their personal life can bleed over to hurt your bottom line. So I hope that answers your question. Are there any other questions? Because if not, we're going to close it out, and this will be it for our lunch and learn. All right. Well, I want to thank you for attending live. If you have another question you're typing, you can just put one. I don't want to end the room too quickly in the recording. But again, the Q&A is always available for those that actually register versus being available online because, again, protect the privacy of those who you want to have ability to learn, but in a safe space. So again, thank you for attending the Q&A. The replay will be available. The replay will be available, and it's okay. It will be available on our YouTube channel. So all of the Lunch and Learns Q&A go on the YouTube channel. Only those who attend live get access to the Q&A session. So the email will go out right after once I get a chance to put it on up on YouTube. You'll get an email letting you know here are the links. Here's where you can find everything. And again, the Q&A is just for those that register. So you'll get that information. You'll get that information as soon as I'm able to get everything loaded on YouTube. Okay. So let me end the recording. Thank you again for those who attended live, those who registered but weren't able to attend. Thank you as well. You'll still have access to this, and you can always view things through the links. You just have to go back and look at your emails. And again, thank you for attending quarter 3 Lunch and Learn on personal brand protection.